Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. In this video, we're going to be configuring our login system even more by adding additional fields. We're going to be adding select fields. We're going to be adding text fields. I'm going to show you how you can do all sorts of stuff from custom validation to custom labels, placeholders, and things like that. There's a lot here, so let's get started now. Okay, so more than just overriding a template, we have access to a whole ton of configuration through the Meteor user accounts package. So in the official Meteor guide, if we scroll down, we can see a line that says further customization. Now under this, it says the user accounts guide to learn about the other options. If we click that link, it's going to take us to meteor-useraccounts/core on GitHub, and this is a tremendous resource for figuring out exactly what you can do here. And you may not have been aware that you have this many options for actually configuring the user accounts flow. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these things that we can do. So first off, I want to go ahead and say, well, we have email, we have password. I want name in here too. I want somebody's name, like your first name, last name. So what we can do is we can head to our code. Let's go ahead and make a new JavaScript file. I'm just going to have this be accounts.js, and this is just going to be for basic account configuration in here. And now what we do is we have access to an object called accounts templates, and accounts templates has some methods. For instance, we can say accounts templates dot add fields, and this is going to be a function that accepts an array. Now inside of this array is going to be an object, or objects, obviously, because it's an array. Now these are going to be the actual fields we want to add here. So for instance, we want to add a field that's first name. So we can say ID and then in a string first name. This is going to be the ID of the field itself. Then we can go ahead and have a type. The type is going to be text because it's a first name. And we're going to have the display name be first name. Okay, so you can see how simple this is. We basically just have this function add fields. It's passing in an array of objects. Inside of here, we just have a single object, but we only are giving it 3 properties: ID, type, display name. And now, if we come to our page and let's refresh things, you can see on the sign-in page we don't have anything. But if we go to register, we now have first name, and it's even showing you that it's set to optional. So right now, adding your first name is totally optional. But let's say we are really demanding that this first name exists. So we want this first name to exist. Let's go ahead and check out this page here. And if we scroll down, let's actually just search for this. If we search on this page for add field, you can see that there's an add field or add fields, and we have access to a whole ton of stuff. If we want this to be required, all we have to do is say comma required true. In addition, if we want to add our own custom validation, we can do so, and we even have access to an error string. So you can see here at least 1 digit, 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase, and we're using this RE, which we have a regex pattern here. Actually, let's go ahead and copy these 2 lines. I know this doesn't make a ton of sense for a first name, but we can make it make sense. So if we can say the error string must be at least 1 lowercase and 1 uppercase letter required. And so now we just have lowercase and uppercase letter required. Let's go ahead and modify this regex pattern here, and I just get rid of this section here where it's looking for a digit in these parentheses. I'm also going to be getting rid of this 6 and period here. Okay, let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to come to my site here. It looks like it's already refreshed when I click register. First name, I'm going to have like all just lowercase letters. Let's go ahead and enter a password. And I think I already have an account with this email, so I can do it leveluptuts.com. Okay, now let's click register. And as you can see, we're getting proper error text that says first name, 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase letter required. In addition, if we try to submit this form, you can see that first name is a required field. So we now have custom fields, we have custom validation, we have required fields, and this is all with using the actual Meteor user accounts package. So as I said, you can do a really ton amount of stuff without having to write this from scratch. And if you head to this guide page, you should be able to see you can have access to the placeholder, minimum length, and we can even run a function in here to validate. So you can see that this example runs this through his valid phone number and will return if it's not a valid phone number or not. And so at this point, we now have our own custom field in our accounts template with its own custom error, its own custom validation, and we're able to say if it's required or not. What's great about this is that if we only have one field itself, this doesn't have to be an array here. We could have this just be add field. You could get rid of these brackets here, and we're all done. We're just passing this in an object. So add field will add one field. If we check this out, register, you can see it all still works. But add fields allows you to add multiple fields all at once. So I'm going to add this stuff back in, not that. And what we can do is add a comma in here. And let's check out something else that we can add. I want to add a new field, and this field is going to be an actual select list. So let's go ahead and check out the guide here. And as you can see, if we scroll down, you can see we have access to checkboxes, selects, radios, and hidden fields. I mean, we have access to anything that you would want here. It's just really super easy to be able to have all of these things. So let's go ahead, and if we wanted to go ahead and have a new field where we could just ask what type of user this was. So we could say ID and maybe ask profession. So maybe this is a web development site here, and we want to say this is a type of select. The display name is going to go ahead and just say display name profession. And let's say we know our audience here, so we can say select. Now select is going to give us the option to have an array of objects, so we can simply just say something like text, and the text is going to be what's displayed. The text will be developer. And we also have access to the value, which will just be a lowercase version of this. We could even have it shorthanded if we wanted to for some reason. But either way, we have text developer, value developer. Now let's go ahead and have another one, text designer, value designer. Because obviously not everyone that signs up for your site will be a designer or developer. So you can just put those people under other. So we can now say value. Obviously, if you knew what your audience was like, you'd want to have as many options as possible here for your own interests. So as you can see, we have a select that takes an array. We have a value developer, developer designer. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and come in here and let's check out our page now. If we click register, you can see we have a select list thrown in here and it says profession, developer, designer, other. Cool. So this is just really as nice as it gets here. I mean, we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to write any code other than just some configuration text. So you might be surprised at just how many options you have available here to totally customize this login experience. Cool, so this is just adding templates. There's a lot more that you can do to customize your fields. In the next video, we're going to talk about some of the configuration options we have, along with overriding text labels and things like that. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video, hit me up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tutorials. I've made over 800 free tutorials now on YouTube, as well as some premium tutorials that are only available on store.leveluptutorials.com. If you want to help support the creation and keep these tutorials high quality and most importantly free, head over to store.leveluptutorials.com and check out the premium tutorial series. And if you want to know what's going on in the world of Level Up Tutorials, you can always subscribe to our newsletter. There's sign up links on leveluptutorials.com as well as store.leveluptutorials.com and in the description of this video. So check it out, sign up for the newsletter, get some discounts on Next Level series, and help support the creation of free tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.